journeys on day. And this batch, Joy is working on now for us to tell us the update. Hello, Joy.
Hello, Aghogho.
Great to hear you.
Hello,
I hear it's
Aghogho.
raining cats and dog first and foremost at the airport in Ikeja.
It's raining, but it's subsiding now.
A huge
Yeah.
sigh of relief for that one.
Honestly, yes, I can.
On what is going on at the Murtala International Airport at the cargo section.
Yeah, we are at the cargo section, waiting for the arrival of the second batch of returnees of Nigerians in South Africa who are fleeing the country as a result of the recent xenophobic attack in South Africa. So journalists are here. We are trying to get the pass so that we can access the tarmac area in order to give a coverage of their arrival. As usual, the security here is very tight. So we've not been able to see their relatives. We're still looking around. I'm sure they are hanging somewhere around the airport. And we got information that they left at about 1:50 p.m. this afternoon. And then they'll be arriving any moment, very any moment from now. They should be arriving the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. And we also learned that the governor of Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, will be here to receive them, as well as the National Emergency Management Agency and the federal officials of the Federal Airport Authority. They are also around to receive the returnees. Yeah, their flight they were supposed to arrive since yesterday, but because they couldn't get a landing permit, the airports couldn't get a landing permit, so they were unable to come in yesterday.
For which is your number one news talk and sports station. Joy Kali is an aviation correspondent, and she's giving us updates on Nigerians returning from South Africa. So that's our big hat fact story. You can go onto our Facebook page. This is being streamed live, so you can watch what is happening. I'm going to be discussing with Joy throughout the large part of this discussion, and then if they do arrive during the course of the conversation, we'll go live again to Joy to tell us what is happening. So Joy, very importantly, the last batch that arrived, and I know a number of things were put in place by the government, and we've also been following that story on Morning Crossfire. A number of them did call in anonymously saying they did have some difficulties in adjusting back to life in the country. What are the things you've heard from those who have returned and how they are getting back to life in their home country?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not been easy. Like you heard them when they spoke during the Morning Crossfire. Some 40,000 naira worth of airtime, to be able to make calls and for data, and that they are also going to access loans, But they are saying they need the government to expedite action concerning this, because they don't just need the money, they need to be able to get jobs, they need to be able to get something doing so that they can be able to fend for their families. Some of them return with their families and they've not been able to, get hold of anything for now. So like they are still stranded. So they are calling on the government to expedite action and assist them in the little way they can.
Going through some reports I'm getting about the numbers initially. Those numbers, about 600-700 of them who had signified their interest to return to the country. It appears that those numbers are on the rise, and it's over 1,000 now. And many of them don't have travel documents. Perhaps one of the major reasons why we're having this sort of interspersing of the movement of Nigerians from South Africa, and that many of them don't have travel documents, so they'll have to prepare something temporal and very quick for them to be able to move from South Africa back into Nigeria.
The number keeps increasing because Nigerians in South Africa said they can't continue to stay in South Africa as a result of the violence. Even though we know that South African government sent their envoy to Nigeria to apologize over the recent xenophobic attacks, saying it's as a result of poverty, unemployment, struggle for power and all that. but Nigerians are still not comfortable staying in South Africa. So a lot of them are registering, showing interest to return to Nigeria. Hopefully, the federal government will see to that and ensure that those of them that don't have, the complete documents, those things, everything will be processed and they will be back to Nigeria.
I know I see a number of journalists also around where you are, also trying to give coverage of what is happening at the airport. What is it like there with the journalists, and what are you hearing around from fellow journalists at the airport?
Well, yeah, the journalists, everybody is anticipating. Yeah, they can't wait to see those Nigerians returning from South Africa. That's why you see a lot of journalists around the airport trying to get the pass that will enable them gain access into the tarmac area because of the tight security. Like the first batch, when they return, they showed so much joy. They expressed so much joy returning to Nigeria. So we expect that this second batch that is coming in, will do same, because they don't want to still remain in South Africa over this recent xenophobic attack. So journalists are here trying to get the pass. As soon as we get the pass, we'll move closer to the tarmac area and then we'll take it off from there, waiting for the arrival of the second batch of returnees.
There's some distance from where the relatives of the returning Nigerians are, but you saw them the other time when the first batch arrived. What sort of emotions did you see displayed while they waited and when their loved ones arrived from South Africa?
Yeah, actually, they were happy that they arrived to Nigeria, but even at them, they wished that the violence never took place. They wished that the xenophobic attack never took place, because a lot of them have lived all their life in South Africa. Even coming back to reunite with their families here, it's not. They are happy that they are reuniting with their families, but it's not something that was planned for. This was just like an emergency. So they are sad, at the same time they are happy. So they express that mood swing. They express that kind of emotion, like, we are happy to receive you, but at the same time we are not happy that you have lost it all in South Africa. Your properties have been destroyed. But they are hoping that the federal government will do something concerning that, and they are asking that the federal government should urge South African government to compensate the victims of this xenophobic attack.
It has been on the front burner. In fact, comments from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyama, when initial reactions from the government weren't forthcoming, when it did come, compensation was top on the list of what the government expected from the government of South Africa in moving forward. And I do expect when President Muhammad Buhari meets Cyril Ramaphosa early next month, we probably will get some idea on what exactly we can make of the demands for compensation if the South African government will respect it. Joy,
exactly.
Tell us also,
Yeah.
you mentioned security
exactly.
around the area, the cargo section. What sort of security? Give us an idea of what the security looks like.
Okay, yeah, you have the airport security on ground, and by the time we approach the tarmac area, we'll find out that even some soldiers will be around. So the security is really tight over here. You are not allowed to move around anyhow.
Was it exactly how it was when the first batch arrived?
Yes, this was exactly how we had the airport security on ground with us here, and then by the time we moved to the tarmac area, we saw different security operatives around. They are trying to restrain journalists from going further close to the plane, close to where they are going to arrive. So they gave us a demarcation where we can stand to take our shots, do our videos, and do all the coverages.
For us to think about. So while we await the arrival, I know a number of things have begun to crop up, especially with how people have been reacting to this story. Once again, if you just joined in the conversation on the Big Hat Factor 99.3 Nigeria Info, we're having a live update from the airport, international airport in Lagos at the cargo section, where Joy Kalu, aviation correspondent for Nigeria Info, is at the airport awaiting the arrival of a number of Nigerians from South Africa who have voluntarily agreed to return. We're live on Facebook, which you can also watch this broadcast as well as listen on radio. So talk about good value for your money. Joy, something also I was thinking about this logistics nightmare in not knowing how many people we expect to return because the numbers keep changing.
Yeah, exactly.
Abike Dabri, the
Initially,
chair of
yeah,
the diaspora,
exactly.
busy
Initially,
woman. Have you heard anything from her lately, or is she around now?
she just called one of the journalists and said she'll be coming in anymore. She's around within the airport. She's around, but not with us at the moment. So she'll be coming in any moment from now. She's trying to make some logistics arrangements here concerning the coverage.
About this nightmare issue in terms of logistics, getting to know the exact numbers of people we're
Yeah, because
expecting. Yes.
initially the first batch they told us that we're expecting 640, and then they finally brought in 187. That was what South African immigration cleared. So as it stands now, they are telling us 320. Nobody is quite sure. So when they arrive, we'll be able to know how many persons are on board and how many persons arrive in the second batch. We don't have the figures yet.
Here in your earliest report, you talked about dignitaries we're expecting there. I did hear you mention the governor of Lagos State and a number of other people in this management agency.
Yes, report reaching us says the governor will be here. But we haven't seen it. Yes, but we haven't seen it yet.
Quick pause. Come back to you. We will get some more updates on the Nigerians returning from South Africa, and if you do arrive in the next couple of minutes, we'll hook up again with Joy Kalio, aviation correspondent. Joy, and I'm going to open the phone lines very soon so that we can take in everything we've heard so far while we await the arrival of a number of Nigerians from South Africa. And Joy Kali will be updating us as this story develops. And this story we've been on for some time. Think about it. When the initial reports of Nigerian businesses being targeted in South Africa happened, and then there were those ugly reprisal attacks in Lagos, Ibadan, and some other parts, I think Uyo also, where you had South African interest in the country targeted by angry protesters. Unfortunately, you had some businesses looted, Nigerians affected in that one. And so we will stay on this story and see if they arrive within the next couple of minutes or the next hour. We'll go live again to Joy. But I think it's a great opportunity for us to hear what you think about what is happening with the Nigerians returning from South Africa. And just to update you one more time, they left the Oliver Tambo International Airport, we understand, about 1:50 p.m. So give or take, they should be in the next, if it's a 5-hour chartered flight, I understand, by 6 p.m. they probably should be in the country. We're expecting the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. We understand the relatives of the Nigerians or the airport at some secluded area, and once we get access to them, we can gauge the mood. But it's a story that I do think at the end of the year will rank among one of the 5 biggest stories for the year about how Nigerians left South Africa in their numbers. Again, the number to call us on and react to this story: 01277 0993 or 01277 1993 or 01277 2993. Or 12773 Call us on any of these numbers. If you're a female, you call us on the first number and any of the other numbers. But if you call on the first number, we will take you because that is the number dedicated to you. And so here we go. Who's the first to the block?
Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Comrade Ikechukwu from Otta Farms.
Comrade Ikechukwu, how is Otta?
Yes,
is it raining cats and dog there too?
Yes, sir.
It
Sir,
is.
God bless the artist chairman. God bless the artist mama. Number one. Number two, South African immigration should leave Nigerians alone. Whether they are taking passport or they are not, let them leave them alone. Let them come back. Let them not kill them finish. It's very, very unfortunate and a bonkum president to stay till October before you go and meet South African president to settle Nigeria.
All right, I'll have to advise you in the way you use words. We don't entertain abusive words. If you're going to go and criticize, you just go straight and criticize, but don't insult anyone here. We would not accept that. But let's move on to the next call. Joseph. Hello, Joseph.
Hello.
Aha. Hello, Joseph. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm brilliant. Appears that you're calling us from the airport.
Yes.
What a coincidence. Which of the airports are you calling from?
The international airport. I didn't go to the airport. I'm just on that route right now at 7 and 8.
I thought it was some coincidence. Probably you were expecting someone from South Africa today.
I want to appreciate Nigerians for giving us timely information.
Thank you.
Which has been my top priority in life. I wake up in the morning with Nigeria Info, and I tell you up till about 9 o'clock Nigeria Info because I like information.
You're
and
addicted.
that gives
Same with me.
Life, I'm telling you. Yes. And I want to appreciate what this is doing, you know, and I know that this is just his own way of, making sure that Nigerians who are stranded in South Africa are being brought back home alive, you know, and that's why most of them today coming back from South Africa are happy, united with their family because they are not killed like others, and they are back home to their country, their loved country, and that's why you see most of them are happy, and they when they come back, they are like, I'm home, I'm not dead. I can still, have access to my family and access to my friends. And but the problem is that government need to really see how they can assist in ensuring that they get something they are doing, and so that they don't begin to feel as if there's no point come back home. Government to really make sure that they are you there with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm listening
so
to
government
everything
needs to
you're
really ensure that these people come back home are given the top priority so they can be able to get something doing at once. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Very well said. A real case study to show whether the government really cares and thinks about its people. This is, like they say, a litmus test. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I know many of you itching to call. When I take this break, we come back and then we can talk some more on this updating story we're getting from the airport, Joy Carlo Aviation correspondent. We're waiting for the arrival of a number of Nigerians. We're perhaps minutes away or maybe just an hour away from their touchdown, and then we'll go straight to Joy live as they touch down, and the second batch of Nigerians from South Africa touch ground. This is 99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one news, talk, and sports station. Please keep listening.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
All right, welcome back. It's 27 minutes past 5. The other time I checked out the weather on the Straits of Victoria Island, it was beginning to drizzle, but I'm not sure it's exactly raining cats and dogs like it did a couple of minutes, I understand, up till 5 p.m. It was still raining cats and dog on the island. According to Joy Carl, aviation correspondent, reporting from the international airport, the cargo section in the Murtala International Airport in Lagos. I'm Aghogho Oboh, and this is 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm taking in calls. You're reacting to Nigerians. Second batch of Nigerians, we are waiting their return from South Africa. They left the Oliver Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg at about 1:50 p.m. So they're close by now. So once they touch down, we'll be getting live reaction. So don't go anywhere. That's the first update we're getting. We're expecting the governor of Lagos State, we understand, will be there as well as the leadership of NEMA. Vike Dabri, the Diaspora Commission chairman, is already there. Anytime we get any of them on, we can get them live through our Info Connect to speak with us on this big story we're following on the Big Hard Fact. Talk to me on WhatsApp 0809 597 5805. Again, 0809 597 5805. Otherwise, let's go to Austin. Austin, been patient, on standby.
Hello?
Lekki. Hello, Austin.
Mr. Aghogho, I greet you.
I greet you too.
Good evening, sir.
Well done. Please go ahead.
How's the work going?
Brilliant. We're kicking it.
Permit me to use this opportunity to commend Mr. Chief Barrister Onyema for a job well done. In fact, I owe him a lot, and God Almighty will reward him richly for bringing out his hard-earned money to bring back our Nigerians who are stranded in South Africa.
Right. He did very well.
And I want to use this opportunity to urge the federal government to please, this thing serves as a wake-up call for them to wake up, because Nigerians, especially the youth, are languishing in abject poverty. If Nigeria, the state is okay, I don't think anybody will leave this country looking for a greener pasture elsewhere. Please, and they should equally summon the South African government before the AU or United Nations, because enough is enough. Without doing so, it will not. The other countries will equally step on Nigerian toes. It is high time our federal government rise up to the occasion by taking it up this particular matter to any level, so that South Africans will equally feel the pain. They have stepped on our toes. We need to step on their toes too. That is my humble contribution this evening. Thank you, and God bless you, Mr. Onyema, wherever you are. May the good Lord continue to bless you. Welcome back, Nigerians, from South Africa. God bless you.
All right, thank you very much for your comments there. Ibinabo is calling in from Ogba. Hello, Ibinabo.
Hi, Chief. Sorry, Aghogho.
How are you, sir?
It's been a while, don't mind me. Or maybe it's the weather.
It means it's raining where you are, right?
Yeah, it's been raining all day, but I think it's fine now. I'm just driving home. I'm somewhere around Shrine, man.
Okay.
It's just drizzling now.
Thank you.
Well, I think this is about mixed feelings. One, I'm happy they are coming back home. Then mixed feeling in the sense that it was an unexpected return based on what has happened. And like everybody else has said, I want to believe this is an opportunity for the government to show how much they care about their citizens, in the sense that negotiations need to be made in terms of compensating them for everything that has been lost and the cause of this xenophobic attack. And one, kudos to Air Peace. And I think this is an example to everybody else who is in a position to help when things like this arises. A good one for them. And I hope.
And interestingly, Binabo, we've been getting so many comments because this all right, so sorry about that, but this story I was just going to point out has sort of shown the heart of gold made of many Nigerians, not just the Air Peace chairman, but several people I've suddenly found out have reached out to people who are returning to help with. I was talking with Joy earlier on. I mean, they're real sad stories about people who've come back with their children and have absolutely nothing and must start afresh. And people offering to take care of children's school fees, take care of house rent. I mean, the stories, if I start there will be no end to them. So it's really great to see that Nigerians in this time can come together as one unit to stand up for one another and also to help in whatever little way they can. So I was really touched by that aspect of how Nigerians have reached out to many of those who've returned and haven't discriminated on any grounds, which I think it's such a great thing in these times, also knowing how difficult times are in the country economically and people just barely managing to cope with their state of affairs, but can also reach out from the bottom of their hearts and help one another. But let's take in some more calls and hear what you have to say. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. O.
Hello, good evening. Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Darlington Cyril Onyema, calling from Mujia.
Darlington Cyril Onyema. Now, whenever I hear Onyema, I'll just ask the question: any relationship with the?
That is my younger brother. That's my younger brother.
He's your younger brother.
Yes.
Good grief.
But the real name is the chief barrister. Ezekwesili Onyema. That's the full name.
Right.
Basically, I want to thank my brother because it's not the first time he has done this kind of thing. He has been doing it even in the village. Wow. Everybody, at the end of every Christmas, New Year, anything, he gives everything to the villagers. Wow. It's only in my town in here, local government, in Mbosi, to be precise, that nobody looks for a job. No human being looks for a job. Wow. If you're looking for a job, try to be a citizen of that little community. And he has been exceptionally well. I thank all Nigerians for what they say, what they do, and the federal government should do more. And I look forward to Mr. Ellen, Chief Ellen, to employ some of these things. I know he's going to do it. I'm not seeking for it, but I know he's going to do it. And he's going to do it with placidity of mind. He has been doing it, and he will do more. And kudos to him. He has not done much, but the best is yet to come from him. The man is a man of substance, and this is above board. Good evening, and keep on floating. Thank you very much, Paul.
All right, thank you very much. What a coincidence, but always great to hear this sort of stories. Makes radio listening such a great experience. All right, let's hear some more. Who is on standby? Okay, you're live now, so you can turn off the device you're listening with. Hello. Okay, sorry about that. I see so many calls coming. I think I can get to WhatsApp now quickly and see if you have any message for me. Good evening, Mr. Aghogho. Alan Onyema should be awarded the Man of the Year for 2019. It takes a benevolent and God-fearing man to do what he has done for his fellow compatriots living in South Africa. That said, these guys, they're trooping back to Nigeria. I hope the government of the day will integrate them smoothly into the system, because we've heard governments say something and do the opposite. Lastly, our government should improve the lives of Nigerians so Nigerians can be livable. Nigeria can be livable for Nigeria. We deserve better. God bless Nigeria. Edozie Din Inaji. Very well said. Thank you very much for your comments, Din. Good evening. I strongly align with Paul Kagame of Rwanda and that South Africa be expelled from the African Union if they will not pay reparations to affected foreigners, and it's better they go on political and economic isolation. To a true patriot, Alan Onyema. Okay, this is Chike from Akute. Some real blunt remarks there. Please, I have this question to ask. Without the federal government, can it be possible for AirPeace to evaluate these people? The reason I'm asking this question is because it's like some didn't acknowledge the federal government's effort in all of this. There's certain money can do individual. I'm a bit confused with this one. If you're asking evaluation, I know there's a profiling going on in South Africa for everyone who's coming. That's why all the ones who've signified interest, over 1,000 of them, to return to the country, cannot do that automatically. They have to go through some process to be sure that they're actually Nigerians who are coming back in the first place. So the temporary immigration documents are prepared for them at that point, and they're being brought into the country because of the immigration laws with South Africa won't just allow them fly in like that. Good evening, Nigeria Info. Thank you, but I don't see any message from you. Evacuation of Nigerians from South Africa is not just the best. Settling is the solution. Mr. President should go to South Africa and settle whatever differences causing this conflict. We in Nigeria define conflict as a struggle between two or more individuals, but the Chinese define it as an opportunity for change. So let the president find out what is the change they really want. Al Hassan from Victoria Island. Good evening. Our commendable show of love by the management of Air Peace. Housing, employment, education of the children are vital issues to be addressed concerning these loved ones. Thank you, and thank you also very much, Dr. Loretta Ekechukwu. Umar from Egbeda says, Shaku Maku, yes, Makushi to you. Apart from the national award, the government should please offset the part of the bill incurred by him. That's a big point you've also made. And just to remind any of you who just joined the conversation, we are updating a story which is developing. It's the return of Nigerians from South Africa and the aftermath of xenophobic attacks. Remember that this voluntary evacuation was first initiated by the government to Nigerians who were interested in leaving the country, that's leaving South Africa. And then initially we had about 300 and the numbers jumped to 600. Latest reports say over 1,000. So the first batch returned last week, beg your pardon. And then this is the second batch which is returning today. And correspondent Joy Kalio spoke to us at the top of the hour, telling us that the plane left South Africa, the Oliver Tambo International Airport, at 1:50 p.m. That's about 10 minutes to 2 local time, and is currently airborne and will touch down very soon. And she will be updating us once that plane touches down so that we can have some perspective into that. Again, you can call us 012770993, 012771993, 012772993, and then 012773993. So those are things we're following, and I'll just give you some updates about what I'm seeing from the consular in South Africa and the numbers of people who are coming back. We don't have the numbers of the people who are going to be returning. 187 returned last week. So the numbers we're expecting today, we don't know if it'll be more than that. But I take a statement here from the Consul General for the Nigeria High Commission in South Africa, who had said 320 Nigerians will be evacuated today. And the reason why, some of the challenges he was quoted to have said that some of the individuals who registered for evacuation failed to show up. And then he had added that officials had been contending with such discouraging tendencies. There were 5 coaches which were filled with people from the airport. Interestingly, also has a large number of children with them. So it's not just individuals who are returning, but also families returning from South Africa. Now, he says that we've been working since 6 a.m. when I got here, which is the consulate. And he says that some of the people who were supposed to be on the flight, when they call their names for a show of recognition, did not appear. So now he says they have registered 1,004 people, but then many of them just registered and did not show up. And that they also got a situation where some of them don't have valid Nigerian passports anymore and have had to be issued emergency travel certificate. And that this meant that certain documentation and immigration issues have also to be addressed. And you know the way protocol works for this sort of thing. But I see we have a call on standby. Is this Mac?
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Great.
My name is Mr. Mark.
All right, Mr. Mac, you're on to 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay. First of all, I want to appreciate the AP's boss for doing what he has done. He has done a very nice work. Secondly, our government actually needs to wake up, because what has happened in South Africa is going to happen in other countries if we are not careful. 2 days ago, I heard that the doctors in this country are fast reducing because they finish schooling, no job, and so many youth are coming up on daily basis. So I think government really need to do something. They really need to change. This is no longer a politics matter. They really need to change and create more jobs. They really need to change and create a whole lot of change. Okay, just about this afternoon, the mayor of South Africa, he's saying he owes nobody any apology. He owes nobody any apology. And to tell you that they are supporting their people, and the killings will continue in South Africa. And before you know it, it will escalate to other places. Because I also heard that Ghanaian people are deporting a whole lot of Nigerians. So the major, and we are many in this country, and many people are looking for greener pasture. They are going to many countries, trying to migrate to so many places. Because you can imagine what it takes someone to graduate from university and you won't get a job. It's no longer funny. And many people are graduating every day. Millions of them are graduating every day. And there is no single work. The government are just playing politics, saying they will create millions of jobs, they will do this, they will do that. While banks are retrenching, so many offices are retrenching people. Where do you want these people to fall back to? Many of them are leaving the country. Many of them are doing this and that. And they keep playing politics. So the major point now is that let them know that this has turned to something else. This has turned to something else. Let them do something. Okay, even with this South Africa stuff, the government are still playing politics before all of us got to know that actually the person sponsoring this thing is the owner of the flight. He's doing it at his own expense. Let us forget about this. This is not the time to play. This is the time to face the reality. Let them know what to do so that the whole lot of things will stop. Because the way Nigerians are migrating to so many countries, if this care is not taken before the end of next year, you will start hearing about other countries Nigerians staying in those countries. Right. So this is my own observation, and what I'm suggesting to government is what I just said. If they can do something, let them do. If they don't want to do something, before you know it, we will start having a very big disgrace from so many other countries.
All right. Thank you very much. Word of caution from Mr. Mack. Fadila from Moshalashi. Hello, Fadila. Hello.
Yeah, this is Fadila.
All right, Fadila. Good evening. You're on to Nigeria Info. Please go on.
Hello,
Fadila. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
Great. We can hear you. Please go on.
Yeah. I'd like to say that first and foremost, I'm really, really appreciative of what the owner of Airpeace did. Quite noble, and I want to implore that the Nigerian government should do a lot for the people that were repatriated from South Africa. It's very important so they don't constitute a nuisance in the society. So please, I want to use this opportunity to plead with the Nigerian government to do the best they can for the people that were repatriated to Nigeria.
All right, Fadila, thank you very much for your comments there. And also very importantly, something I think was Mr. Mack who said yesterday. I did remember reporting the story about where the ambassador of Nigeria to Burkina Faso says the International Office for Migration had complained to her that its resources were being stretched because at least 10,000 Nigerian women had been lured into forced prostitution in Burkina Faso, and they had to get them out of the country as quickly as possible. And they were, in fact, beginning of this year that's in the last 9 months, they had repatriated at least 230 Nigerians from Burkina Faso. It's such a huge problem, and it's almost like a contagion to imagine you have this playing out across a number of countries, a number of Nigerians who have been lured in search of greener pastures. Unfortunately, they found out that the grass on the other side isn't exactly green. All right, I see we have Austin on standby. Hello, Austin. Please go on.
Yeah, good evening. Aghogho.
How are you?
How is today?
Brilliant. How is your day?
Great.
All right, please go on.
Okay, I just want to say that I really appreciate the effort put in by the boss of Airpeace to bring stranded Nigerians in South Africa back to Nigeria. I'm very happy. I pray that God will continue to bless him. But I also want to say that other billionaires that we have in this country can also take a cue from what this man is doing. The man has been able to evacuate some Nigerians from South Africa back to Nigeria. Other billionaires should start from where he has stopped. Let them come out and, help these Nigerians that are back with empty-handed. So I'm appealing to other billionaires. They should come. This is the time for them to prove to us that they can give back to the society. That's just my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. Who's next to the block? Let's see. I see that.
Do what you're supposed to. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Great. Please, your name and where you're calling from. Oh, sorry, we lost that connection. Please do try and call back also. Osamo. All right, sorry about that. Failed connection again. Hello. Hello, kindly turn off the device you're listening with so that we don't get the whole back. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Aha, good evening.
Okay, my name is Chibuzo. I'm calling from Ivej.
All right, Chibuzo. Chibuzo, kindly help turn off the device you're listening with. We're getting a feedback. All right, Chibuzo's connection is over. While we wait for the next call to come in, I'm going to go back to WhatsApp. I see several calls on WhatsApp. We'll also see whether I've got any messages on Facebook also too. Good evening. South Africa's government has failed their people. They shouldn't heap the blame on hard-working Nigerians that are only after their means of livelihood. This is Chiki Akute from Akute. Still the story of deflection, something we had has been going on for a while. Governments deflecting and not taking the blame for what is going on in their country. All right, let's see who we have up there. I see line 1 is trying to be cleared.
Hello.
For the female caller, but let's take hello.
Yes, Aghogho.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm brilliant. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah. What I want to my name is Dixon.
Dixon, great.
Yeah. What I want to contribute on your conversation is that the Nigerian government should also remember us that we are in Nigeria here. Because it's not that, it's not only those people coming from the South Africa. You understand?
Right.
We voted for them also. I think the unemployed and people that are not in cash are even many in Nigeria than those ones coming from South Africa also.
Right.
You understand?
Good. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
So that is it.
All right. So it says, remember home and don't think only of the ones who are returning from South Africa. Thank you very much for your comments. Let's hear who is next up on the line. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. The other your line was switched off. I'm here with I just see the mechanic now.
The mechanic. The mechanic isn't here. All right. How come some guys can be so fortunate to get us on a time when others are trying so hard to get through, and he gets through, and then it's the mechanic. Okay, let me take this message from WhatsApp here. This one, okay, still Dean Naja. I like to read a lot of comments from Dean, who is who is in the United States, New Orleans. It says, to be honest with you, Nigerian government must sit up and leave politics aside to give the common man in Nigeria reasons to want to stay in Nigeria. For crying out loud, people dying on a daily basis, even Nigeria. What has the government done to nip that in the bud? Poverty and hunger taking people's lives, yet our leaders still playing politics and stealing our resources. But until Nigerians start taking their lives, well, I guess until Nigerians start taking into account this nonsense will go on, Nigerians deserve better. Okay, I believe you wanted to say until Nigerians start taking their destiny into their hands, this nonsense will keep going on. Nigerians deserve better. All right, I think we can go back to the lines. I see we have a number of calls up there. Joseph, hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Oboh.
Aha, good afternoon.
Yeah, I would like to make some contribution to your program.
Oh, please, what's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Joseph, calling from Ota.
All right, Joseph, please go on.
Yeah, please, I would like to appreciate Nigerian Info for the updates they have been giving us concerning the people from South Africa. Yeah, but my concern is, I really want to know what are the government doing concerning the people that are returning. Then what are the religious bodies doing? because most of these people that are coming, Nigerians, they are churchgoers. They go to churches, but what are these pastors? What are they really contributing? What are they doing to those people that will return? Thank you very much, please.
All right. So what they've done so far, give Richard Katz 40,000 naira. They've also said credit facilities will be made available to them for them who want to get involved in small and medium enterprises. So it's a sprinkle of things happening here and there. But I'm sure by the time the second batch comes in, we probably would look on a dashboard and see just exactly how much each person who's returned from South Africa and their families are getting, having agreed to voluntarily return from South Africa. So a good point, but a lot still happening, I can assure you. Christopher from Sulere, you are on the block.
Chief Oboh.
Chief Christopher.
Good evening, my brother. Thank you for your good job.
Thank you very much.
Is President Sandra there?
No, President Sandra is on vacation.
Uh-oh. Well, I want to congratulate her on her award.
Okay.
You guys more are still coming for you guys there because you are doing a good job.
Thank you very much.
You know, for me, Nigeria Info, I'm okay. I'm good to go. And I listen to you guys. Whatever is going on out there, I mean in the politics,
right.
As far as Nigeria Info is concerned, I'm good to go. I just hear somebody, unless Nigerians decide to say, look at the 30,000 naira something they're dragging. And that one is meant for the ordinary men. Then they started food dragging. I think we're not ready. When we are ready, then we'll put all these guys on their toes. Because some of them cannot travel out now, going for Yam Festival. All I have to say, I want to thank Nigeria Info for being there for us. You guys have been preparing solutions, but these guys are not listening. Thank you, Chief Oboh.
Thank you very much, Christopher. All right, I think we can take in one more call. Yes, we can take in one more call. One more call. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to contribute on the topic that is going on. What I'm trying to say to Nigerians, what of the governors and the senators that have been killing themselves over to vote for? Can't they pool their resources and help these people to come? But when you reach election time now, you will see people killing themselves on who to elect as a senator, as a governor. Okay, but so now they are saying that they can't bring their resources to help people to come back.
All right,
so Nigeria has to wise up.
All right, thank you.
Not to be following politicians as if they are fools. This is the time where politicians that.
All right, thank you very much. Well, great point. Question: what exactly is the political class doing for the returning Nigerians from South Africa? I also would like to know whether the resources are coming in. Okay, so we don't have any updates from Joy Kalio yet, aviation correspondent at the cargo section of the Murtala International Airport, awaiting at least 320 Nigerians, according to the consulate in South Africa, is what we're expecting. That number, may change, but officially is what we're thinking, is what we're hearing. And she's been cleared to go in now, so expect within an hour. I'm going to go back to Joy at some point so that we can know just what exactly is happening with that story. Otherwise, that's it on the Big Hat Fact. Up next is the news, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you, maybe we'll take this as it goes then and see how it goes after the news. I'm Aghogho Oboh. Please keep listening.